US President Donald Trump will arrive in Scotland this month, resulting in a massive security operation costing millions of pounds. It's the first time he's visited here since his return to the White House, and he's expected to jet into Prestwick on Air Force One.
We're going to be meeting with the British Prime Minister, very respected, and we are going to have a meeting with him probably in Aberdeen, and we're going to do a lot of different things, and we're going to also refine the trade deal that we've made. So we'll be meeting mostly with at probably one of my properties, or maybe not, depending on what happens. But we'll be in Aberdeen in Scotland, meeting with the Prime Minister.
Plans for a security ring of steel are well underway, and his armoured motorcade is expected to whisk him to his nearby Turnberry golf resort in Ayrshire, which was vandalised with pro-Palestinian graffiti in March. And it's believed he will also travel via presidential helicopter Marine One to open his second golf course at Menie in Aberdeenshire, named after his late Scottish mother, Mary Ann MacLeod. Security and policing insiders have said meetings are ongoing this week, with the possibility of up to 5,000 officers being required to work 12-hour shifts, while global tensions also mean more security could be in place. And the potential for longer shifts and the lack of rest time has seen the Scottish Police Federation seek legal advice.
There is a legal agreement between the service and the Federation which effectively provides a framework by which officers can be deployed, the length of their shifts. In the simplest of terms, that's what the workforce agreement is. But what it means in reality when operations of this scale are being planned is that framework should be recognised and adapted by the service when it comes to staffing these events. That is to ensure that the appropriate legislation is being met and that my colleagues achieve the correct amount of rest as the main example during periods of duty. If we consider, as was in this case, that the service is not complying with that regulation and our officers are potentially vulnerable to those extended shifts and those extra pressures that will come, we felt that we had no option but to seek legal advice. What I can say is that the force has come back and said that they will work with us to try and resolve these issues, but at the moment the situation still stands that these challenges have not yet been fully met by the organisation, and we will continue on the basis that legal advice will be sought, and if it's required we will take action.
We've spoken to the Police Federation, absolutely. We're aware of the concerns. I'm confident that as the GO commander and the officer responsible for the delivery of this operation, we'll work through any issues that they have, and that I'm confident we'll deliver an effective policing operation that meets the needs of local communities and the priority around maintaining public safety.
I mean, it doesn't sound that they're particularly happy, though, if that's the course of action that they're undertaking.
Well, that's for the Federation. My priority is around ensuring that we deliver an effective operation. I'm confident as GO commander that we do that. The Federation have a role and a responsibility to officers, and I'm satisfied that through our communication and engagement that their concerns will be addressed.
While that debate rumbles on, some will be concerned about the cost of Trump's visit. In 2018, a massive security operation was launched with a 3-day trip totalling around £30 million. This included rooftop snipers, undercover Secret Service agents and elite SES soldiers, as well as a number of British troops drafted in from forces across the UK. Security chiefs at Donald Trump's Scottish golf courses are already keeping an eye on who's who in the lead-up to his visit. The bizarre-looking devices, resembling the TV Time Lord's croaky-voiced enemies, will alert police to troublemakers at the US president's luxury resorts. Trump is expected to fly into Prestwick on Air Force One, which is one of 2 specially modified Boeing 747 jets which carries the US president. The 4,000 square feet plane can act as a mobile command centre in the event of an attack on the United States. It's kitted out with military technology and has classified communications gear and defences in case it's attacked by a missile. The plane can also be refuelled in the air, as it has a special fuel cap on its nose, so a second plane can connect it while flying above. This means the plane could technically stay in the air indefinitely in case of an emergency. But details of the plane's defence capabilities are top secret, but it has the ability to function as a bunker in the event of a nuclear attack. It is also reported to be capable of repelling airborne missiles and has a special electronic defence system that can jam enemy radars. Electronics on board are designed to protect it against electromagnetic pulse, and the aircraft is equipped with advanced secure communications equipment. And Trump's team will bring several beasts, the nickname given to the US President's armoured Cadillacs. The £1.2 million vehicles weigh 8 tonnes and are bulletproof and able to survive a direct rocket or chemical warfare attack. And if anyone is foolish enough to grab the car doors of the vehicle without authorisation, they can expect to be hit with a 120-volt shock delivered at the flick of the switch from those inside. The massive motors can also emit tear gas and flood the road with nails or an oil slick if being pursued. It's also likely there'll be a number of support vehicles, including SUVs and Range Rover Discoveries, which will be for protection officers and counter-attack teams. During his 2018 visit, the huge security operation included rooftop snipers, undercover Secret Service agents and elite SES soldiers. Trump was also flanked at all times by security detail from the US and the UK, and around 150 shoot-to-kill special agents were deployed to watch his every move. Thousands of uniformed officers are guarding Trump, as well as undercover agents hiding among the crowds. And the nuclear football refers to the briefcase which accompanies the president while he's away from the White House to deploy nuclear weapons if necessary. The briefcase was handed to Mr. Trump when he took office, and it never leaves the president's side. Inside is a black book of strike options for him to choose from. Once he has authenticated his identity using a plastic card nicknamed the Biscuit, the president then can select his strike options and what is being compared to a restaurant set menu. The order is passed by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the Pentagon War Room. Using sealed authentication codes, it's then sent on to the US Strategic Command HQ in Nebraska. The order to fire is then transmitted to the actual launch crews using encrypted codes that have to match the codes locked inside their safes. The origins of the football can be traced back to the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis, when JFK ordered locks to be placed on nuclear weapons and demanded alternatives to an all-out nuclear war plan. Trump's last visit as president in July 2018 prompted large-scale protests in Aberdeen, Edinburgh and Glasgow, with many more likely to vent their anger this time around.
We'll deal with protests in the same way that we do week in, week out across Scotland. Our approach to Scotland, or to protest, is very much based around balancing people's right to peaceful protest. Let me be very clear that threatening or abusive behaviour, any activity that puts at risk any public safety, absolutely is not legitimate protest and may have consequences. In terms of Palestine action, any behaviour or activity that is a support for Palestine action is now an offence under the Terrorism Act, and people are liable to arrest for those offences. So we will take the same proportionate approach that we do to protest every other day of the year, but absolutely there will be consequences if we find that there are breaches of legislation and requirement for arrest.
And it's understood a proposed meeting with King Charles won't take place. However, the US leader is scheduled to make a full state visit to the UK in September.